My name is Gyaltsen, Geshe Gyaltsen. In 1990, I arrived in India, in Seraje, and so I did the studies. Then in 2002, I went through the Geshe degree, and in 2007, I got the title of Geshe Larampa. Then in 2008, the next year, I want to study the Tantra part in Gume. Then 2008, 9, 10, so for a few years, I've been the teacher of the path of reasoning in the school in Seraje. And meanwhile, for 1 year, I was also the Geke, the disciplinarian for Tsawakanse. And then at the very beginning of 2014, I arrived here in Nalanda. Since arriving in Nalanda, I've been teaching the basic program twice. Then we started now with the master program. So I'm now teaching for the master program. We are in our second year, and it's the second year in the studies of the Abhisai Mayalamkara. So then next year, within the master program, we will change our subject. We will then study Madhyamika. Speaking about the so-called middle way or Madhyamika, this is corresponding to the teaching that were given by the Buddha in the Sutras of the Perfection of Wisdom. This is based on the three of those sutras, so what are called the extensive, the middling, and the short Madhya Sutra. Those sutras have the manifest subject and the hidden subject within those sutras. So the hidden subject is what we have been studying, and now the obvious subject of the sutras of the Perfection of Wisdom is about emptiness that we will be studying in what is called the Madhyamika. The basis of those studies are the Prajnaparamita Sutras. As we saw, there are two subjects that we can call the manifest subject that is about emptiness. The commentaries that have been presented on that manifest subject of the sutras were composed by Nagarjuna. The commentary that we relate to on the hidden subject is the commentary of Maitreya, that is the Samayalamkara, the ornament of realization. We go back now to Nagarjuna. And Nagarjuna composed the 6 texts on reasoning on the view. Some count only 5 of them. Usually we speak about the 6 treatises on the view shown by Nagarjuna. Amongst all of them, the main one is the fundamental wisdom. On that, we study commentaries on that fundamental wisdom that were composed by Chandrakirti. So he composed mainly 2 commentaries on the fundamental wisdom of Nagarjuna. One commentary is the Madhyamikavatara, the supplement to the middle way. The main subject is the meaning of what is said in the fundamental wisdom. And another commentary of Chandrakirti is mainly focusing on the words, the way it's phrased in the fundamental wisdom. And this commentary is called the clear words of Chandrakirti. There's also another commentary that we will be following. Indeed, is the auto-commentary of Chandrakirti on his own composition of the supplement on the middle way. Next year, we're going to see mainly those 2 texts, so the supplement of the middle way and the auto-commentary on that by Chandrakirti. Those 2 texts were taken as the main point for Lama Tsongkhapa to compose his own commentary, which is called the Illumination of the Thought. That text composed by Lama Tsongkhapa is the actual text that we're going to use as the frame for our studies. Lama Tsongkhapa composed 5 texts in relation to the view of the middle way, the Illumination of the Thought, which is the one that we'll be studying next year. He also composed the one that we call Ocean of Reasoning, and he composed also a text which is called Excellent Explanation on the Interpretative and Final Meaning Sutras. He composed a part on the view in the Lamrim Chamo, the great stages of the path, and also in the middling Lamrim, the intermediate presentation of the stages of the path. So indeed, there are 5 texts of Lama Tsongkhapa touching the subject of the view, and amongst them, this is the one that is called Illumination of the Thought that we will be studying next year. The importance of this subject on the view on the middle way, we speak basically about emptiness. We can see by different quotation. For instance, in the 400 verses from Aryadeva, it is said, the one who is without or with very little merits, there will be no doubt about emptiness arising. While for the other one, even a little doubt questioning reality, without thorough analysis on the subject, but just with a doubt about reality, it is said that doubt doubt has the power of shake the ground of existence, the ground of our samsara. So this is the importance of thinking about emptiness. Even a slight doubt about reality will already have that impact of shaking the ground of existence. And also, Shantideva mentioned the fact that amongst the many thousands of teachings of the Buddha, as we mentioned, for instance, the 84,000 branches of the teachings of the Buddha, he said the essential one is the one that touch the wisdom of emptiness, the wisdom, speaking about the perfection of wisdom. This is the very essential intent of all the words of the Buddha. This is the essential intent that he had in mind, speaking again about the value of the subject of emptiness. And another quote came from Dhammatsongkhapa, the text on like praise to interdependence, where he say like all the words of the Buddhas, they lead to the understanding of interdependent suchness, emptiness. And so meaning that there is no other essential intent or essential meaning to all the teachings of the Buddha. There is not other than that subject of the view, that subject on emptiness. Why? Because the main purpose of those teachings of the Buddha is to guide one to the result of liberation from samsaric existence. So to achieve such a liberation, it's essential to have assumed the mode of a reality that is emptiness. That's why it is the essential subject of all the words of the Buddhas at the end. So that shows the great value of understanding the meaning of emptiness, how amazing it can be, and also indicating that even without the thorough understanding, but at least starting with a little doubt, it's already moving, it's already efficient. If you understood the value or the importance of studying such a subject, you're welcome to come next year. So in February 2026, next year, we will be starting these studies on the subject of the Madhyamika, and those studies will last for 1 year and a half. So if you have interest in that subject of the view, then you're very welcome to join us in that studies. Meanwhile, I will keep on making prayers for everybody who's interested to be able to come to join this class. And by the way, to do those studies, you don't need necessarily to be Buddhist. Any person that has an interest in thinking about the view of reality is welcome here. So again, there is not a selection made based on the criteria of being Buddhist. That's not the case. For anyone interested in this subject, then that person is welcome here.